Yeah, Jordan's roboting like crazy tonight, so let us know in the chat if you hear that.
At least the voice is soothed. It's fixed.
Yes.
As I said on Discord after the stream, I had some milk and honey, and it fixed it.
Nice.
Thank you very much. This is proof that every single household needs milk and honey. I can hardly speak to that. I don't know what's happened suddenly.
I don't know what's happening either. Is everyone okay? Good, I'm glad to hear it.
Everyone is well. They're talking about penguins in D-Live.
Yes, I'm talking about snow. I've got a little bit of snow, but it's drying. It's not drying.
It's drying.
It's drying up. I was going to say it's drying up fast. Okay, good evening, Philomena, and to all of you wardens. Thank you for confirming that YouTube's running. I just sent a message, Jordan, while I was waiting for you, and it appeared on only Twitch, so it's restreamed doing its thing. Yeah, amazing.
Good old restream.
And it should have gone to D-Live, so we'll find out. Right, without further ado. Oh, good evening, Jonathan. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the very late stream. So sorry. Obviously, for those of you on YouTube, there was not a chance to explain until we went live. We had a podcast set for tonight, a really good podcast, and it decided to do some weird stuff, and it wouldn't just upload. And then when it finally did, it said it would be in an hour's time. So I'm afraid you're stuck with us live instead.
I did have the opportunity to watch exactly how fast your internet is. Genuinely, chat, it uploaded the episode to D-Live, or to Restream rather, faster than my computer has ever been able to download anything.
And we were screen sharing.
And we were screen sharing as I was able to watch it.
I can't take any credit for it. It's just luck.
I know, my internet is just shameful. Honestly, it is powered by sort of microscopic hamster.
Yeah, it's a hamster wheel. They pedal faster. I genuinely can't take credit. I'm dead lucky with my internet, but you know, what can be given can be taken away. So I'll appreciate it while I've got it. Anyway, yes. So good evening. Welcome to the ward meeting. And as some of you may have noticed, that we took a week off. Jordan mentioned it briefly last night. Do you want to reveal anything about what we've got coming up, Jordan? Because we have plans on plans on plans.
We do. I don't really. I like to wait until stuff is done.
Okay, well then I'll reveal a little something, a little teaser. The plans that we have involve this community and you, and they're going to benefit everyone involved. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's not really much.
No, it wasn't that. It was when you said, and you. It threw me off because I was thinking, wait, of course.
No, not you. Oh, God. Muttley's here. Get those stickers going.
Because I haven't had anyone to stream with.
I meant, of course, you wonderful wardens and the wider community. So, yes, we're very excited about these plans. I wish we could reveal more, but as usual, we don't want to jinx anything. But plans are in the works. We will reveal what we can as we go along, so you're not waiting for the end result. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Sir Francis. Always there with a Muttley sticker. Right on cue. Oh, look, Philomena's got some hamsters there for you.
Talking of Sir Francis, I believe he's put some more of his fantastic artwork up on Discord.
Yes. Can we please show some love for Sir Francis? What amazing talent. And not to forget, of course, and I see you there, Will, hiding. English Will. Amazing that these two men have got such talent with art. We will probably be calling on you soon, gentlemen. Just saying, we might have some projects for you if you're interested. Fun projects. But yes, good evening, everyone. It's really good to see you all. It's good to be back. I hope you've all been very productive in your week off. I wasn't really here last night to talk to you.
No, you were asleep.
I'm always asleep. As you can probably hear, I'm a little bit unwell. I'm on the mend. And it's just, you know, the COVID nodule cootie thing again.
Is it made better or worse by the fact that, technically speaking, we've already streamed today? No, technically, actually, we've streamed twice because we also had the accidental stream.
Yes.
Failed sound check.
Yes, if anyone got an alert for an earlier stream, that was a sound check. I was supposed to hit reward. I was supposed to hit record and I hit stream instead. So yes,
Neither of us can speak today.
there's a little treat for you. Right, let's have a quick look through these comments. Right, MCJ Dub says very productive. I'm so glad to hear it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know if you want to reveal what you've been up to, MCJ Dub. I would like to ask everyone if, in fact, anyone has stuck to their, I know it's a long while ago now, their No News weekend. Did anyone extend it throughout the week? Has everyone just doubled down on their white pills and ignored the black pills for a bit?
I'm ashamed to admit that today I've not lived up to my No News weekend extension. For some unknown reason, I decided to look on the BBC earlier on. I'm kind of glad I did. This is one of the few times I'll ever say this, but I am relatively happy I did look on the BBC because I came across a very telling article, which I'm now in the process of trying to find very smoothly, as you can tell. This was extremely pre-planned. I can't even find it. It's not even on the frigging website anymore.
Oh, that's not good.
God. Okay, fine. We'll try this another way.
MCJ Dub, while you're looking that up, says mostly cooking. As long as you're productive and you feel that you've been productive, that's good. Oh, Andrew, there wasn't supposed to be a stream. When you put a tech boomer in charge of the tech, this is the result. This is always going to be the result. MCJ Dub says, always positive, had a negative moment in November, but soon kicked that to the curb. Good for you.
Absolutely. Well done, mate. That's my sort of person.
Yes, the podcast did work, but it won't be uploaded now until 8:40. So we thought, right, well, we can wait another hour. We recorded this in plenty of time. It was the upload that held us back. But yeah, so it was going to be another hour or so, and we just couldn't be that mean. So here we are. Eddie says, there's me who watches no news or TV and my mum who watches it all the time. It's like we're from different planets. I'm sure that's what it feels like for most people now.
This is why Eddie is a perfectly well-balanced person.
Yeah, Eddie's amazing to speak to. If anyone hasn't yet spoken to Eddie, he's so calm and zen.
He's uber zen.
Yes.
To the point that even when I'm in zen mode, it weirds me out sometimes.
He makes you feel a bit frank, doesn't he? But Eddie is Eddie, you should sell your voice. I'm not even joking. It's so relaxing talking to you.
Do audiobooks.
Yes, you should. Genuinely. Tumi says, I've watched very little, usually hidden within other videos or content. Okay, well, that's good. Very little news is always good.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of the problem. It does get hidden within other content.
Yeah.
Within content from other people, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So my brain is not fully firing.
Jess has been with her parents. They love the news and she's had to watch it at dinner time. This is the interesting thing. I do think it's important that we understand exactly what the news is for. It's not there to, it used to be there to inform us of what was going on around the world. And now it doesn't do that anymore. That's not its job anymore. It's now designed to mislead us, deceive us, or just outright lie to us. And all of these black pills come from the news. In fact, you can say with some confidence, I think now, that if none of us watched the news, would we even know about COVID?
No, and I don't think we'd know about a lot of things that stress people out for no decent reason.
Exactly. I mean, aside from some people having like a cough and a cold, I wouldn't know there was a pandemic at all. Oh, apart from the obvious tyrannical lockdowns, but that's a whole nother story. But with COVID itself, yeah, that's a good point, Aitash. Yes, watching, I think this affects most of us. Watching television or watching something on a device or being on devices, it's very interesting how this has become such a normal thing now for meal times. For people to just the way we fall into these behaviours is really rather amazing. And while I think these people are evil, that concoct all this nasty stuff that's done to us, you have to admire their genius, how they keep catching us again and again. That's on us to change that. That's on us to start recognising it when it happens and reject it. Jess says, I wouldn't know if you didn't watch No One's Falling Dead in the Street. If anyone's ever watched a movie or a TV show about a pandemic, there are very clear indicators of a pandemic, right? You know, people actually getting ill in front of your eyes, coughing, falling over, ambulances screeching all the time. When's the last time anyone can honestly say they've heard an ambulance who isn't on a path to a hospital? Or a siren of any kind? I don't think I've heard a siren in about 2 weeks.
I hear nothing but, which is even more strange considering I live in the middle of a bloody field.
Well, maybe people are going to that field for nefarious purposes. Maybe
They're
it's the
going
police you're
outside.
hearing.
They're going outside to hug each other.
Exactly.
You're only allowed outside to bang your pots and pans.
Dragon Energy says, I knew something was going on with the news about a decade ago when they would barely report on Ireland, a country right next door. Yeah, the news has been co-opted by people who are not sharing the truth with us.
I knew there was something going on in the news when they would barely report on the Iraq war properly. That was a major thing for me. I was a kid when that started, like an actual child. And even as a child, I thought, a little bit weird. They were really into showing the bombing, you know, that initial wave. Do you remember seeing the video of that?
Vaguely, yes.
They loved showing that. They couldn't get enough of that stuff. As soon as that ended, it was like, okay, we're done. Next thing. I don't even remember what the next big thing was after that. If I remember rightly, when that may have been. That might have been around about when they were trying to bring in the bio passport things. The national ID cards, rather, sorry.
Same difference. Right?
Well, you know, it is. It's an upgrade. That's what a bio passport is.
Ragnar says, all I hear are helicopters. And MCJ Dub says, I can't sleep unless police helicopter is above now.
Joe, I've just realised the background.
What?
There is no background. It's black.
Not for me.
Really?
Yep.
Chat, do you have a background? I'm interested. What the hell has gone on here? Sorry, carry on.
Was it the Gulf War that was televised 24/7?
Yes, both of them. Actually, especially the initial wave of the... Yeah, Nick sees the background. God dang it. Okay, well, it's mine. Whatever. Who cares? Restream is going bloody weird.
Or it's you.
It could be either either. You know, I'm all over the place today, and who knows? As I was saying, maybe I'm just lying to catch Chad out.
It's just checking that you're paying attention.
I'm playing mind games over here, 5D chess. You know, I've upgraded on Trump's 4D.
Wow.
Anyway, when the Iraq War started, they were all over it. They loved it. They really, really did. As MCJ Barrow says, the BBC had a Saute camera. They loved it. They loved the little graphs. They loved the maps and all the rest of that.
Well, they have to keep reminding us of how important they are, yeah. in case, God forbid, we decide we don't need them any longer, right?
Indeed, and it all ended. And it all ended pretty abruptly. And then when it started to become obvious we was in one heck of a bogged down war for no reason whatsoever, they stopped.
Well, there were reasons.
And then we jumped into Afghanistan and the cycle started again.
Yes. It's almost like a lot of what's happening now could have been prevented had we not interfered in other people's countries where they democratically elected their own leaders. Mm-hmm. Did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I don't know if anybody else knows about this. I don't know if anybody can find any facts about this, but my dad loves telling his story. This was back in the day when the news was still relatively news-like, I suppose. He was coming into London one day, and it was during the first Gulf War. On LBC, they had this fella who claimed that he had seen the documents from Saddam Hussein saying that he was willing to sign peace. And he actually had signed the document to say, yeah, we want peace. We don't want this war anymore. And then it was all brushed away under the carpet and the war continued. Does anybody else from the London area have that recollection?
I've got to say I don't. Thank you, Timmy, by the way, if you can find that. That'd be great. Ragnar says, Jordan, remember the WMDs that weren't there in the burning oil fields? That is an image I do remember.
Absolutely, from both ones.
Good on you, Dragon Energy. Yes, the TV license for any of you who still pay it is going to increase again in April. So
you're just rubbing it in now, aren't you? Because you know I have family members who won't bloody not pay it.
Yeah, a lot of people who fall into these so-called vulnerable groups are getting kind of harassed about the jab.
Yep.
So check up on your loved ones. Just make sure they're okay.
My nan received, in the space of one day, she received 2 letters and about 4 or 5 phone calls from them.
Wow.
I know. One of them actually called while I was on the phone to her.
Jerry's asking, what do you remember? I think he missed the beginning of what you said.
It was I wasn't there. It's a story that my dad tells, but basically he remembers very, very, very clearly in the first Gulf War, some geezer came onto LBC. He was a reporter, and he said that he had seen the document stating that Saddam was willing for peace. And I don't have any collaborating evidence for this. I do believe my dad, and that's good enough for me personally. But I would like to know if anybody else remembers this, or if anyone can find any information on this. If I remember rightly, I'm trying to think, when was the first Gulf War? No, I wasn't even born during the first Gulf War. It didn't go on very long, did it? About 6 weeks, if I'm correct, yes?
I don't recall. Sorry. Maybe someone in the chat knows. Can anyone in the chat confirm how long the Gulf War lasted? Right, Nico has responded. Saddam didn't want war with a superpower. He saw what happened in the 91 war when his troops were slaughtered en masse when leaving Kuwait, the highway of death. So that backs up what you said about he didn't want it.
No, this was in the first one that he didn't want.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It was from before I was even born, this story that my dad likes to tell.
Then I don't know.
I was most certainly alive in 2003.
MCJ Dub is saying it lasted a few years.
And then Dragon Energy saying a month or so.
Gulf War 1 was a month. Well, I suppose if are you counting the overall thing or each country?
The war proper. Not, as we like to do. We like to have a war and then we stick around for a little while after. I don't know why they do that, but they do. They enjoy doing it. It makes them feel important, I suppose.
Well, Jerry says it's not the LBC caller, but I do remember whispers of Saddam wanting to do a deal.
I have a feeling that this is just all proper evidence of it has been completely obliterated. And the only thing left is individuals who can remember it.
Well, the thing is, I suppose it really comes back to, at the end of the day, do we have the right to go and invade another country? Isn't it the job of their citizens to force change, like it's our job to force change in our own countries?
I want to invade France. What's your point?
I mean, arguably you could say that we're being invaded now. Do we like it? Hell no. I don't know. I just don't think we have any business over there. And we know that all these wars were bankers' wars. That is, the banks, were funding both sides of each war, making a fortune, while lives were lost. And ultimately, what was achieved? What was, again, if we won, what was the prize?
A pat on the back.
Exactly. Right, Dragon Energy.
I think that's actually a really good way. So I think it's a really good way to look at these things. Like, we're getting into a war. Great. What's the outcome of this? Is it something that's actually constructive for us, or is this just brownie points on the international stage? If it's just brownie points on the international stage, but frankly, what's the point?
Well, this is my point. I mean, when you enter into a war, there must be benefit for someone. The people that were there didn't benefit. We didn't benefit. Who benefited? And it's never us. It's never the invading force, nor the country that's been invaded.
I have an update on the first Gulf War because there's disagreements. It lasted officially, from their recollections, from the 2nd of August to the 28th of February.
Okay. So does that back up what Jerry is saying?
It kind of backs up pretty much what everyone's saying. I thought it was about 6 weeks or so because I knew it was very, very short. Maybe what I'm thinking of is a particular operation that just kind of blitzed through.
Okay, someone's upset Timmy. What's going on?
What's happened?
I don't know. Someone posting chocolate. Behave yourselves.
Do I have a chocolate?
We always talk about food, don't we? And it just kills everyone off.
We're not at our usual food break, though.
Right. I'm guessing it might have been Philomena.
Isn't it always?
It's usually with the bacon, though. I don't know how we've gone on to chocolate. This is just another way that she tortures people. Oh, I know. Is it the Mint Aero inspectors? Is that what it is? I know, Jess. Every single time. Anyway, I don't know why we got talking about the war, but except to make the point that
it's because I had a question about it. That was why.
The things that your country engages with should be beneficial to your country, or they shouldn't engage, essentially. And when I say beneficial to your country, no country is a country without its people. So I'm not talking about GDP or some kind of international standing. I'm talking about benefiting the citizens of a country. And if anything that your country, your government, your elected government that work for you engage with doesn't benefit you as the electorate, then we shouldn't be doing it. Simple as that. Steve, don't mention the war. Gotcha. Good advice. Bacon is allowed at all time. Oh, so Timmy, hang on, Timmy, that's discrimination. So you're okay with bacon but not chocolate? I'm not sure I like that.
It's because chocolate is boring.
Timmy's a chocolate bigot.
No, I don't blame him. I'm on his boat. Chocolate, boring. It's bland. What's the point in it? It's just sweet.
Chocolate's amazing.
No.
In small quantities. In small quantities.
I will grant, when you cook with chocolate, then it takes things to a new level. Have you ever put a bit of chocolate in a chili?
Chili chocolate is a big thing, apparently.
No. That's not what I said. I said, have you ever put a bit of chocolate in a chili?
Come on, this is me you're talking to. Do you think
I
should do chili?
You don't like chili con carne?
Not the kidney beans. I'll grant you on the rest. And no, I do not put fruit or sweets into my savoury dishes. Okay,
wait, are you claiming? Are you claiming
is an affront to all things?
Are you claiming that chocolate is fruit?
I said a fruit or a sweet because I was going to bring up the pineapple pizza.
Yeah, see, Almost is with me. It's delicious. It is. I fully agree.
I'll take your word for it. I do not put sweet things in my savoury meals unless they're supposed to be there. Ooh, choux pastry. That's quite the skill. Well done.
When my dad makes those, they start off as normal sized things like ping pong sized. By the time they're done, they're basically full on buns. I don't know what the hell he does. They just expand.
Well, Nick's backing you up here. Chili improves all savoury. Chocolate improves all sweet. Chili and chocolate together improve each other. They are magical.
Well said, absolutely. Those are the words of a sane man.
Chocolate Rice Krispie cakes. Yeah, we used to make those when I was little.
I've only made them once. I quite enjoyed them.
I do not put red wine in my bolognese.
Oh!
I don't like red wine. I'm a really picky eater. Honestly, if we had a genuinely long chat about all the foods I don't like, you'd be amazed that I eat anything at all.
That isn't true. You have a varied diet.
English Will says I'm out. This is sickness, lol. No, I'm just a really picky eater, but I really cannot drink red wine. I just don't like it. I'm going to try mead though, Jonathan, for the first time. I just need to find a good flavour because I'm not sure that honey would. I don't know. I don't know if I like it enough. Jess likes a good baking sesh on a rainy afternoon. Okay, take care, Nico. Thank you for joining us. Put some marshmallow. Oh, okay, that jumped. I'm so sorry. In your Rice Krispie cakes. Yes, it binds them better, doesn't it?
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, a bit of melted marshmallow acts as a binding agent. Jordan's gasp of horror, says Steve. He gasps in horror at most of the things I talk about with food.
No. Tell chat about the pies.
Which pies?
The proper pies, pie and mash pies.
Oh, pie and mash pies are amazing.
Thank you very much. See, we're in full agreement on this one.
We are. And I've got a kick-ass recipe for them as well if anyone wants it.
You don't make the liquor though, which is sad.
I don't know how. It's the eels.
What do you mean you don't know? All you do, you go out, you find a river, you find an eel, you grab the eel, you then pop it in a pot, and then you make some liquor around the eel.
No. This is why we're building the hamlet, so the men can go and get the eels, and the women can cook them after you cut their heads off or something. I don't touch things that wiggle around. I like my meat to be dead before I touch it.
Yeah,
and
there's no issue with that. You just kill it.
Okay, Jerry, I don't know, I'm a bit worried about you. I ran out of milk for tea once, put a bit of banana milkshake in, tasted nice. Banana flavoured tea works with strawberry milkshake too.
I don't like that.
Oh,
I don't like that at all.
I don't know. I'd take some convincing on that, Jerry. Lick the eel. You sound just like Jordan.
Yeah.
No,
see, lick it.
Come on.
Lick it.
Why? Why on earth would you? I don't mind my steak being a bit, red. But for goodness sake, if it's mooing, then it's not dead enough.
I don't like it. They call it blue steak. I don't like that at all. It's just tough. So weird.
Philomena thinks she's off the hook for this one. I don't know.
I extremely doubt it.
You have a rep now, love. You are the
To be fair, somebody started this and it wasn't us. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's true.
I misread that comment so badly. Steve Cray said elves are more tender. For some reason, I read that as Elvis.
Oh, I've read that as elves. Like, why are you just eating elves? Why are you picking on the little people?
Wait, didn't he sing Love Me Tender?
Yes.
Like, Mum, I need to think how Elvis would say that sentence.
God. Everyone ready for the Johnny Bravo impersonation?
You said I did it well the other night.
You did. Go for it.
No, I can't do it. I'm not prepared. We were talking about something serious. I don't remember what it was.
We were. This is
because we've had a break. You should have seen the mess that was the first attempt of the podcast. Just you wait until that comes out. You're going to realise just how unbelievable it is that we managed to put on a live stream.
Are you laughing at Tash's comment?
No, I'm laughing at us being idiots.
Oh. Love meat tender. Hey, clever girl. Yeah, it was hilarious. Well, the first one I streamed instead of recording. And I was like, oh, crap, I streamed it. And then the second one I recorded. And then I paused it, but I didn't really pause it. And it was just hilarious.
Then we got a phone call.
Yes. And then we just got to the end of the recording. And then my reminder to prepare for the stream came up. So you'll hear that playing towards the end as well.
Honestly, chat, absolute miracle.
Tech boomer.
Weird thing is...
I've got an excuse. What's yours?
I wasn't paying attention. I was out of focus. I was out of practice. There you go.
Out of focus.
Everything was blurry.
Oh, God. Yes, out of focus on that audio. Gets you every time, doesn't it?
I don't know what you mean. You're an audio engineer. You can't tell me you don't know anything about this audio focus.
And my last job was a skyhook salesman.
I
Right. Okay. Back to serious stuff. What is the serious stuff?
don't remember. This has gone off track.
Well, it's the ward meeting. So, yes, we were talking about the No News Week, weren't we?
Long
we've
ago
got
we were.
way off track. No News Week. What we really wanted to say is this. We used to be in the position. A lot of what we say to you is not just us saying things for the sake of it. It's things we've experienced and we want to share it. We want to share the benefits of what we learn as we go along. Because we are really all feeling our way as this kind of crisis in history unfolds, right? When Jordan and I first started talking about creating this community and creating everything we have so far, we were both in various chats, watching various streams, following various content creators. And we started to notice something that we were doing that we know other people are still doing. And that is we'd come together and talk about solutions because we couldn't see anyone else talking about solutions, even though thankfully more people are now than were then, or certainly none that we'd come across. But we were hanging around in places that were, what do we call it? Like getting a fix of misery is what we call it on the podcast, which you'll hear eventually when we upload it. Getting a fix of misery, like an addiction. Like we've become so, I think, addicted to misery and drama because it's somehow, I think it's the last step to accepting that this is all normal. If we make it dramatic, it's outside of normal life, right? It's something other. But we were addicted to it. We used to hang around in these chats, these toxic chats, and you know, there'd be people talking about stupid stuff, and you know, I can't even go into it. It's too much. It will start me off on a tangent and will never end. But the point is, it was toxic, and you'd come away from it feeling very black-pilled. And there would be video after video of people posting, well, let's say bad things happening to undeserving people. And then we'd come together and we'd talk about all this awful stuff that we'd seen, and it would take us a while to get back into this rhythm of looking for solutions. So that's really the message that we want to get across to people. If you come to streams like ours for a white pill, and we're very glad you do, please don't waste it. Because if you keep going back for your fix of nastiness, eventually the white pills aren't going to help. And that's how it started to be, I think, for us. The white pill had to be stronger and stronger to counteract this downward spiral of misery, this fix of misery. And the misery will overtake because it's very easy to be miserable and do nothing. And it's become a natural state for us because of years of brainwashing and all the other games that are played while we are the experiment. So yes, you know, if you're going to come here for a white pill, we're glad to share it with you. But please don't go and get black pilled when you leave. Please don't engage in all the bad things you know are bad, because it's convenient, because it's what's the word I'm thinking of? Comforting, familiar. You know, you go and engage in that, you come back, and it really is going to take longer and longer to pick you up each time. And when we're black-pilled, we tend to become less productive, more apathetic, more demoralized. You know, there are certain things that you can't control. As Jess points out, you know, you go and stay with your parents and they're watching the news. But the black pills aren't just on mainstream television. The black pills are all around us. A lot of us, a lot of people who are frustrated with everything that's going on are also black pilling us. And it's not that they're doing it on purpose, but I think it's their way of coping with what's going on. To just kind of rant about it. But
that to me is the most frustrating thing, how we've somehow developed a society which is perfectly content just to sit around and complain as opposed to do anything. Which we go into this a little bit more on the podcast. This is probably why we brought it up, because we only recorded it a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, it's still fresh.
Exactly, it is still fresh, but this is why we created the industry overview idea. Yeah, Andrew did a fantastic job with that.
So here's a question for the chat. You're going to hear a lot of this repeated in the podcast. Apologies for that, but as Jordan said, it's fresh in our minds. What do you think, chat? And I'd like you all to be supremely honest about this. What do you think, for those of you who have already, and for those of you who have yet to, what is it that motivates you to go past that complaining, or did motivate you to go past it? Maybe the answer for the men is slightly different from the women.
I expect it to be.
What do men want? What do women want? What would it take to make you think, hang on, this has to stop now? I can't keep doing this and expect things to change. Because this is why we made the overviews. We're trying to provide people with income security. The first thing that can be taken from you if you say the wrong thing or think the wrong thing is your job, your ability to provide for your families. So we want you to have the freedom to choose your destiny, to choose how you earn money, where you earn money. Yeah, there you go. Timmy agrees. There is no benefit to just complaining, right? I mean, we've been doing that for years and it's changed nothing. Quit becoming part of the problem, become part of the solution.
Well said.
A future for young people, says Zanth. Dual Citizen says, I only drop white pills. Work on yourself. That way you'll be in a better position to help others. Totally agree with that. Dragon Energy says, motivate me. A certain woman in this chat stopped my black pill and had to look forward to something. I'm very pleased to hear that. MCJ Dub says, all I want is freedom of choice. That's all we all want.
That's a very, very little known cover of Mariah Carey.
Wow. Nerd.
Well, am I just 10 months too early? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you liked Christmas. I didn't realise you were Scrooge suddenly.
Nick says, I think isolation eventually forces you into action. I think it can, Nick, but the other side of that coin is that you dig deeper into the isolation.
I think going about it the isolation route is kind of risky, because
Yeah.
the only way you start to pick yourself up once you start to spiral is because you've hit the bottom.
Yeah, so you either really need to lose everything or you need someone to drag you out of it.
Exactly.
Again, that's what community is for: friendship, family. Jess says, needing to get on with things and building a life for myself, that's the motivation. Good for you. These are all really great answers, by the way. Nick says, there's only two paths: wallowing or doing stuff. Agreed.
Well said.
This is nice. Jonathan says, I want a safe and stable environment where I can work and bring up my children. And the freedom to work on the things that you enjoy. MCJ Dub says, get busy living or get busy dying. I like that very much, because honestly, we are going to get to the point, I think, where we have to make that choice, or at least it will be freedom versus slavery. We haven't quite lost everything yet, and unfortunately there is more that can be taken. I don't want to wait until such a time arrives as that last few freedoms can be taken from us, or those last few freedoms. I think it's important that we remember that choice comes from taking action yourself. If you are relying on other people to make choices for you, you're giving people a lot of power over you. We've all experienced what it's like to have someone have power over you and your decisions and your choices and your behavior and your speech, and we don't like it very much, do we? I'll tell you the reason I bring this up. In fact, I'm going to share something real quick if I can. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to save messing about. I'm just going to drop the link into the chat. 1 second. Let me try and find this.
Do you remember what you're looking for, like, roughly?
Yes. It's a tweet. It's an amazing tweet. Oh, I sent it to you. That's all right. I can grab it from there. It is this one. No, it's not there. Is it further down? Here it is. This one. I don't know who this person is. Never spoken to this person. I don't follow this person. And I know nothing about this person. But I saw this tweet today and I just thought, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is why we want you all to have choices.
You're going to have to read it out because I can't see it.
Well, I'm just going to see where it goes to first so I can send it everywhere it needs
Oh, right,
to
you
go.
put the link in chat. Thank you.
Right, everywhere but DLive. Of course, everywhere but DLive, as always. Let me just paste it into the DLive. It's on Telegram if you want to read it. But I will open it and read it. I'm not mucking about with anything else, by the way, chat, because everything has gone that could go wrong has, and I'm just not doing it. So this is someone called Bully of Tyrants, who says someone screenshotted one of my tweets and found the company I work for and sent it to them. It eventually ended up on the director of operations desk. Too bad that's me, biatch. That's as close as I get. I choose not to fire myself. The point I'm making, of course, is if this man was employed by someone else, that might have been the end of his job. Because he employs himself, he didn't have to do anything. This is the kind of freedom that we want you to have. Either being employed by each other or being employed by yourself.
I've just gone onto this man's Twitter feed. I don't remember seeing this tweet at all. I don't know when he sent it to me. It's been tweet. Quote, I'm a libertarian socialist. Unquote. Oh, that's cool. I'm a virgin porn star.
Wow.
I don't know, little things like that, they tickle me.
But that's the point. The point is, someone tried to essentially cost him his job and it didn't work. It couldn't work. Because they didn't have any power over him. So being his own boss actually saved his job. And this is the thing. All the things that we are afraid of losing, all the things left that haven't already been taken. If you are working for yourself, if you have control over your ability to provide for your family, to control your income, the amount you earn, where you work, how you work, when you work, what else is there more important than that? Because genuinely, if you do not take these decisions into your own hands and take control of your own future, other people will. And this man completely escaped that because he was his own boss. If you look through the rest of that thread, there's quite a few other people who've spoken about similar issues. It's just amazing. This is such a basic thing. So when we talk about income opportunity, what we mean is income security. If you are producing something that people need, you control it. And think about all the people who've been furloughed. If you were running your own business, you could have been working throughout this whole mess. You could have been earning money throughout this whole lockdown. And I think a lot of people have bought into wage slavery far too much. It again comes down to control. So many people have control over what we can say, what we can do, how we live, where we go, when we go. I would like to think that the kind of people we are, that's not good enough anymore. I don't know. Is that good enough, Jordan?
No, not at all.
Don't we deserve the right to choose what we do, provide for our families in the way that we see fit? Who else is going to care for your family like you and do what's best for them? So choices, that's what this community is about, is giving us choices again. If we don't have those choices, if we don't have access to those choices, that means other people are making your choices for you. You've got to have the right to choose what you want to do. What does freedom mean? if we don't even have the choice to decide where and how we work?
Just pop a link in chat. Could you pop that into D Live, please?
I can. I've just popped up. Let me just grab that. We need to find our own money and stop being slaves. Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Because
I think the best starting point for that is simply start taking up hobbies. See what you're good at. See what you enjoy. Then see what you can turn into some sort of income opportunity.
the thing is, again, it might take you a few tries. You might have to kiss a few frogs, as they say, before you find a prince.
Absolutely. I really lucked out by taking up wood carving. I enjoy that a great deal. It could easily have taken it up and not enjoyed it. If I did it, I would have wasted like 30 quid. Such is life.
Now that's the important thing, because both Andrew and Jordan have put together a list of opportunities, let's say, that you can try for very little investment. So we don't make any money from this. This is all about you and what you're willing to invest in yourself. But these are obviously going to be very small investment opportunities, and that's the way we designed it. That's the way Andrew designed it, so that you would have, without having to borrow money or get any further in debt, have a chance to try these things. One of these things may turn into a future income for you. And that was the point. And even if you don't end up doing something you've tried, maybe you can take some skill or experience from that and apply it to something else. I'm just dropping this into the D Live.
Thank you very much.
It's a real pain. Now I have to use Firefox to get the video to load, and we didn't even end up using the video. That's just annoying. Okay. Well, actually, this is another reason why it's very important that we start making these choices for ourselves, because although a lot of us are fairly well informed regarding the jabs and what's going on, the reality is there are a lot of employers that have been given the green light to let people go if they refuse to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And
or simply not hire new staff.
Which
is even worse in many ways, because at least if you have a job, they can't get rid of you simply because you don't have the jab. But now they're making it pretty damn clear that they don't have to hire you if you don't have the jab.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Look, it's my first day back. I'm so sorry.
We can tell it's your first day back. We're going to have to scrap this one once we're done because of what you said a moment ago. So that's fair enough. I suppose, you might as well just lean into it. Once it's gone, go.
Okay. Nick says loans caused all this, makes people slaves, starts with the union, never ends. Let's not forget, we covered an email many, many months ago that spoke about the potential future for those people in debt if they didn't do as they were told. That's up on the Discord server, if anyone wants a reminder. MCJ Dub says, they told me to work hard, so I did. Now look at what they've done whilst I've done 90 hours a week for 27 years. My God. All that time. Is that working for someone else?
I hope it wasn't.
I hope it wasn't, but I've got a feeling it was. Jonathan, how have you lost so much money? Goodness sake. £30,000 in the last 8 months.
That better not have been in Bitcoin.
You're being pressured to take the jab from your employer, presumably. I'm in this position with Bitcoin where if something is too good to be true, it usually is. I don't know enough about it. I'm neither talking it down nor bigging it up. I don't know enough.
I do stand by what you said in that Bitcoin aren't going to feed your family.
My biggest concern is this. I have a sinking feeling that if the internet stays in any form, it's going to be in the form of online banking or shopping. And should that happen and you can't access your wallet, how do you do anything with your Bitcoin? How do you feed yourself with it? I don't know. I'm still not 100%.
I can understand the concept behind it in that even if everything goes down, it remains there. It's fine. It's still there. The problem I have with it, though, is will it retain its value? And I can kind of see it retaining a bit of value. But I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm pleased to hear this, Jess. Luckily, my boss doesn't want the jab either. We're quite based at my work. I'm very pleased to hear that. I hope they don't pressure your boss. They have been literally bribing people to... It's quite amazing, bribing people to have the jab. They've been talking about cash payments for people on welfare. They've been talking about... was there some kind of cash incentive that... Was it Amazon, did you say? Offered its employees some money to have the jab?
That wasn't Amazon. That was...
There was another company that did that, though, right?
Yes, I don't remember who it was. It might have been... Might be one of the tech companies. I can't remember which one. They have their... Not base, but they have an office down in Kent. Very pretty office, actually.
Wow.
They make... Oracle. There you go, that's who I was thinking of. I think it might have been Oracle.
And what was... Can you remember what the offer was? It was cash, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's up there with the thing in Wales, the track and trace app. They've been training people to stay indoors for about 500 quid every time they get flagged up.
Wow.
Also, I have good news. It was not on Bitcoin. It was through loss of earnings for Jonathan. Which is not good news by any means, but it's certainly better than losing stuff on Bitcoin.
Yeah, like it's better than a dodgy investment that's obviously hit you, but it's still not good that you've lost money. These are the kind of things that we need to work out solutions for, because we cannot keep doing this. We cannot keep allowing the decisions of these... Oh, well, you said it's coming down anyway. These traitors in government. We cannot allow these people that do not serve us to keep causing us these kinds of losses. We cannot let this happen again. We can either be reactive next time it happens and just sit on our hands and wait for it, or we can do something now to prevent it.
There are materials that you get. I'm trying to think of the name of it. We don't actually have it in this country, but they have it in the US. Basically, it is 2 planks of wood kind of sandwiched together, and in between that is some little support struts and some foam. And the general gist is, because of the way that it's built, it is much stronger than a normal framed wall. And the reason for this is because you've got your 2 main pillars, as per normal, your 2 main pieces of timber, but between those you've got this relatively intricate little web of framing material, and inside that you've got foam. In a way, it's kind of the foam specifically is kind of a good analogy for a healthy economy, or at least a very, very strong, durable economy, because you've got loads and loads of little pockets of air or economic activity. And if ever one place gets whacked, by recession in that area, the rest of the wall is perfectly okay.
I got you.
And that's basically how we should rebuild ourselves. So that if there is a recession, the recession isn't nationwide. It is, it's a London issue, or it is an Exeter issue, or it's something along those lines. By making our economy much, much more local. Fine, we may not have the booming numbers of GDP, fine, whatever, it's irrelevant. Our overall stability and our ability to get through bad times will increase immensely. And that's what we should be aiming for.
So what we need to do then is be preemptive. We need to plan ahead for this.
Absolutely.
And make sure that we have a buffer for when this happens again.
Absolutely.
I mean, surely no one now is expecting these lockdowns to end, right? Well, there's an end date on them.
It'll be a couple of more weeks, won't it?
No, 2025, right?
Oh, yeah, fair enough. That as well.
Yeah. So £500 a jab, says Ragnar. MCJ Dub reminded us. We read about this, joints for jabs in the US, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. Jules Citizen says, sterling, silver, gold, alcohol, land, property, and mastering a trade always have a utility. I would say of all of those, mastering a trade is the one that's accessible to everyone right now.
Yeah,
if you can master a trade that will always be required, you will never be unemployed. MCJ Dub says, we are ruled by decree now and no one knows. I think more people are learning that we are. The problem is, by the time the masses wake up to this, we'll all be enslaved. We have to do something now. We cannot wait until it's obvious for everyone to see, because by then the option of finding a solution will be taken. Just catching up on the chats. Yes, Joe's back.
See, they're all grateful after yesterday's blundering around.
I'm sure they're not. Ragnar says, power to the people. 3,500. Wow. I know that there were whistleblowers from nursing homes, funeral parlours, talking about this. Well, yes, if you can't learn a trade, then be self-sufficient. Self-improvement, self-sufficiency. We're trying to work on all of these things. We would love for you all to join us and really take this seriously now, because I don't think we have any more time.
Especially coming up to summer. Like, we are now perfectly in the sort of time of year where we need to be planning our gardens. If you think how much money you spend on food over the summer and autumn, let's say. Let's imagine you had a garden large enough, or at the least the ability to utilise what you have, and you was able to cut your food bill throughout the summer down to 30 quid a month, 40 quid a month, whatever, because you were able to grow all your vegetables and you were able to store them and all the rest of that. That's a lot of hours there that you're not having to work anymore. And I think maybe that's how we should start looking at this. Maybe if we can't get out of it completely, what can we do to minimise our costs? That way we have a little bit of money and we can put that away. We can start putting that into tools and equipment and taking more time off to learn things, to go on courses if that's what you need to do.
But this is why we want people to get away from the black pills. That's not a productive use of your time. If anything, it's going to turn you away from solutions and pull you into a deep pit of despair.
It's very emo. In all honesty, like, if you think about it, watching something that makes you sad and then sitting there and being sad about it.
Yeah, but it's more than sadness, isn't it? I mean, it could really be the difference between you surviving what's coming or giving into it.
Yeah, but that's the damage that is caused. What I said was, the act of watching these things and then sitting there feeling sad about it and sorry for yourself, as opposed to doing something, that is very, very emo.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you know that's the effect it has on you as well, why on earth would you inflict that on yourself? Mm-hmm. MCJ Dub, it's not too late. It genuinely isn't too late. We've got great solutions to circumvent this. It just requires more people to get involved, to actually do something. Because if we don't come together in small or large groups and start working together, we've used the sort of Amish analogy a lot, but if you just watch a few videos of how these people communicate with each other and how they live, if somebody needs something, everyone drops what they're doing and they go and just build it. They make it, they provide it. This is what communities do. This is not an obvious solution for the long term, but in the short term, it's what we may need to do. We provide what we need so that we don't have to ask for it outside, so that we don't have to wait for the government to give it to us. We cannot be in this position where a government that genuinely seems to hate us and doesn't want to look after our well-being. Why on earth would you rely on them for anything? They provide the bare minimum that they can get away with. I just want to say regarding the furlough as well, I was watching something earlier and it really made me think. And we mentioned this in the podcast too, but it's important. Anyone who's currently on furlough will have gone from 100% wages to 80% furlough. And then I believe when the first lockdown ended, like it ever did, and the second one started, the furlough amount got dropped to 60%. Mm-hmm. Well, next time it will be 50% and then 40 and then 30 and so on. This is the slow boiling frog again, getting you used to living on a pittance, and then they're going to take away that pittance. But scaling it down incrementally means that you don't notice it so much. Those who have savings are using their savings now to top up that pittance that they're being forced to live on, because your cost of living didn't change when your income did, right? You're not paying 80% of your bills, are you? You still got to pay. You've still got to pay. And you will keep paying. No matter how much this money is reduced by, your bills will stay the same. And when you get down to the bare bones of it, and that final money is taken from you, what will you be offered instead? Universal basic income. I wonder if that will come attached with conditions. Because I do think it will come with conditions.
I don't think it will at the start. I think at the start it will simply be, there you go, you can have it. But after maybe a year, maybe 2, then the conditions will start to kick in.
Yes, of course. Because you don't start with a stick. You start with a carrot.
Exactly.
You can't say you can't have this if you don't do that. You've got to give it to someone first and then threaten to take it away. And that's really the key. And that's the key to everything they've done to us, really. They give you something and then they start to take it away. And we said this right at the start. Every lockdown would be incrementally worse by a small amount. Just something else will go. Or they'll give something back, but it will be a worse version than it was originally. Like with the pubs. Now pubs can reopen, but they can't sell alcohol. Why bother? It's their lifeblood. It's the reason they exist.
Are restaurants allowed to open, or is it just pubs? Because that would be bloody hilarious.
Restaurants are allowed to do whatever they want, aren't they? Licensed restaurants can sell alcohol. It's because they sell food. Any pub that doesn't have room for a little restaurant, finished. But the pub is the community, and the community needs its pub. I'm glad to hear that, Jess. So despite everything I've just said, this is worst case scenario. We have to know about the truth. Of course we have to. Otherwise we can't plan. But if we sit on our hands now and wait for the next lockdown or the next thing they take from us, we're going to be powerless, helpless. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be helpless. I'm sure you don't want to be helpless. Why on earth would we allow them to do that to us when we can prevent it? We have the ability to prevent it right now. If we want it badly enough.
It's kind of ironic because it's really easy to turn it around on them. If we start creating our own businesses and we start pulling away from them, what the hell are they going to do? If we all stop buying from Amazon, how long are Amazon going to remain in this country? Or in France, or in Germany, or in Denmark, or wherever in the world? They're just not going to. They're going to leave because the costs are going to be sky high and they're not making any money.
Well, now they've finally been forced to pay the taxes they owe. They're going to start shutting down branches.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. It will be very difficult for people to stop buying off of the likes of Amazon. It's not saying that realistically we can say, right, lads, let's go. As of tomorrow, we're no longer buying from Amazon, and from that point on, nobody does. But
it's going to take a while. And that's the big boy, isn't it? I mean, there are smaller corporate companies that you can start with.
Absolutely. I think the hardest ones to get rid of will be the likes of Tesco.
I think all of the big supermarkets are going to be really hard to beat unless we start encouraging each other to starve the beast, unless we start investing in businesses where we can make money to support local shopkeepers again. Local shopkeepers are going to be the backbone of any new community that we create.
Absolutely.
Of course they are. They have to be. You might be your local shopkeeper if that's what you want to do. You might be the local baker or butcher. You might want to work with slaughter. It doesn't matter what it is. All of these small kind of, I don't want to use the word family business. They're not necessarily a family business, but you know what I mean by a small business, a small trader, a sole trader business. Mm-hmm. These are going to be the backbone. But if we want to keep these businesses going and provide competition for the big boys, we've got to start funding these businesses, which means we need to have the freedom to set our own income, where that job can't be taken from us, and we need to be spending our money locally. Because if you are trying to build a community, you want to involve your local businesses in that community. Of course you do. Because then the community leans on the business and the business leans on the community. It's reciprocal. That's how communities have always worked. How nice to go into your local shop and be greeted by name. Have someone ask how your children are. Like you're a valued customer. The personal touch again. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of going into stores or shops and everything's done by a computer.
I don't like the fact that you can go into one Tesco and you can basically go into them all.
Well, we were talking about this with airports, weren't we?
No. We were
generic
talking
makeup of everything.
No. Airports aren't that bad, actually. We were talking about this in relation to motorway service stations. My biggest bugbear, and I reckon this is a bugbear of a lot of people who travel up and down the country and use them a lot. There's basically only 3 layouts of these damn things. They're all the same. The problem is, you go into one of them, you think it's a different layout than it is, and you get lost in the damn thing. Well, even though there's only 3 layouts. That happens every time for me.
Yeah, because they keep shuffling it around. It is confusing. I think it's because we do a lot of our stuff on autopilot.
Yes, absolutely. Especially when it comes to things like that and things like Tesco, where you know roughly the layout you're going to get.
Well, we've talked about this before. Has anyone ever driven anywhere and you've just realised, hang on a minute, how did I get here? You've made that journey on autopilot. You're just as alert and aware as you ever were, but you've made that journey so often.
Mm-hmm.
I think you go into this kind of mindset when you walk into a store. You know exactly where to go for your bread or your eggs or whatever it is you're going in for.
Yeah, this is why most accidents happen within a couple of miles of home.
Yeah. Kate points out November lockdown was to save Christmas and it was banned anyway. Demoralisation tactics. Absolutely.
Yep. I do have a comment I want to read.
Right. I'm just catching up. Let me quickly go through these. Don't lose it.
Okay.
One in every £3 is spent on Amazon. That's amazing and incredibly sad. Good on you, Kate. That's amazing. Genuinely good on you. I don't know that we need pubs exactly, but we do need to replace that social interaction. We need something. I hope it's pubs, but if it's not, maybe we can come up with something else.
Well, that's partly why we changed our pub on Discord. We changed it from the White Rose pub and we've now named it the Social Club.
Because it's more of a family-friendly place.
Exactly.
And we want to engage people with the idea that it's socialisation that we're losing rather than the venue. The venue doesn't matter. We just need a place to go where we can talk and chat and meet and exchange a few jokes and have a laugh and catch up on, whatever people are up to. The venue really doesn't matter. Right, I'm catching up, Jordan, I promise.
You're actually probably going to go past the comments. I'm going to interrupt here. It was from Bazooka Joe, who said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Maybe they'll listen when we keep the doors of Parliament in, drag them out and hang them from lampposts. Maybe that's a bit extreme. The reason I want to highlight this, 2 reasons. Number 1, Fed Posty. I don't like it. Number 2, the problem with that solution is it implies that the politicians are the one with power. They don't have any power at all.
No.
So even if you were to do that, the people who actually have power are completely unaffected by it. They'd look at it and say, well, the cannon fodder got it. What a shame. Let's put in the next lot. That's all these people are. The politicians are completely powerless as well. They are not in control. Even though they love to claim they are, they're not.
And you can see it on their faces sometimes. I don't think they're all completely on board with what they're doing, but they're doing it regardless.
Exactly. They're doing it regardless.
They're following orders.
Exactly.
Andrew says any of our businesses will need to be lockdown proof just in case. Yes, they will. And again, if your customer base is your community and your fellow shopkeepers are your community and you work for yourself or you work for one of them, and somebody says, well, I'm going to report you to your boss and I'm going to get you the sack, well, nothing is going to happen. We need to stop being afraid of the consequences of speaking the truth. And the only way to do this is to be in control, again, of your own income. Everything that derives from your income, everything that's important to you, you're keeping your car on the road, keeping a roof over your head, feeding your family, providing for your family, all comes from your ability to provide an income. Or rather, not an income, to provide the means to get the things that you need. Money is just one of those tools. We know that there are other ways. We know that there is cryptocurrency. We know that there is barter. But the reality is, if other people are controlling your ability to get the things you need, they are controlling you.
Yeah, this is personally why going forward I would love to see a society where it is absolutely 100% enshrined that if you own something, you own it.
Yes.
And it can't be taken away from you no matter what.
Should never be taken from you under any circumstances.
Exactly. It is utterly insane that you can own a property and then it can be taken away from you because you didn't pay your council tax. That's just ridiculous. That isn't reasonable. That isn't.
I agree.
That isn't right. If you own something, you own it. That's the end of it.
MCJ Dub says, high trust society. That's what we need for our children to grow up happy and healthy. We need a low crime, high trust society. You can't have that when you are living with strangers. You must have community to build that. One cannot exist without the other. And just to quote this now, Arima says, same as it ever was. That's a great song, by the way. But yes, I do agree. And here's another song. If you tolerate this, then your children will be next. Won't somebody think of the children? Genuinely, if we do not start thinking about future generations, if we sit on our hands and let them fight this for us, how will we ever look our children in the eye? How will we ever not feel ashamed? We've got to now make a decision. Are we going to fight, or are we going to let them do this to us? Because if we're not ready to fight now, by the time we are, it might be too late. Yes, just following orders, Sir Francis. That just following orders is not an excuse for anything. I'm sorry, it's not. You should not need someone to tell you what's right and wrong. And just following orders is no excuse for doing bad things to other people. Which is why the basic premise of what we're trying to build is personal freedom that does no harm. We don't have to harm other people to be happy and to achieve our goals. We know, Joe, it's fine. Everyone gets frustrated now and then. Yeah, they are just the face puppets. Exactly. Someone's pulling their strings. They're doing exactly what they're being told to do. No amount of ranting at them is going to change anything, unfortunately. No amount of calling them out on social media. I don't know what people are doing to them, spitting in their face, throwing milkshakes at them, whatever is going on. It's not going to change anything because this is the plan and the plan must be carried out. It's that simple. So if we cannot infiltrate and if we cannot influence what these other people are doing to us, then we can only focus on the things that we can control. And that is our behavior, our businesses, our money, our things, our community, where we live, how we want to live, how we want to raise our children.
I will say, when it comes to Fed posting things, we don't call it out because necessarily we really want to. In an ideal world, we just let it go. The problem we have is it's one of the ways that various nasty people will attack us. They pop into the streams, they say ridiculous things in chat, like all people that look like X should be hung or gassed or various other incarnations of that. Take screenshots and then run off to various other factions and say, look at what these people are doing. You know, we have to do it mainly because we know the game. We know what they're going to do. It's just a matter of time. So when we see it, we have to call it out. That's it.
Yeah. So, but we do get the frustration.
Absolutely, because it is unbelievably frustrating. It really is.
But you've got to remember now, for some people, words are violence. And even if you're just venting a bit of frustration that you have no intention of doing anything with, people will use that against you.
Yeah, because they don't care. All they care about is an easy win.
Yep, shut you down, cost you your job, right? Maybe rip your family to pieces because you can't provide for them anymore. Maybe cause your partner to leave you because they can't stand the constant, I know, eggs being thrown at your house every day, or people coming up and attacking them in the street. These are nasty people. We can choose to keep dealing with them, or we can take a step back and say, do you know what? Let them carry on doing their thing. We are going to build something amazing. We won't need to convince people it's right and it's good and it's going to help us thrive, because it will do all those things and they'll be able to see it. There are going to be people now in their 20s who have never known anything else. Lockdown notwithstanding, things have been on the decline for a long time. The best way to show them what could be is to build it and let them see for themselves. If you could convince people with words, none of us would have any dissent in our families.
Oh,
None
absolutely.
none of us would have to try and convince our parents or our children or our brothers or our sisters or our aunts or our uncles to take a deeper look at the lockdowns or the testing or, anything else that's going on right now. Words are not enough. We have to show people that we're serious and that we're building something great. Anything less than that will not be enough to convince them. But they don't just have to see that it exists. They have to see that it works. They have to see us succeed. And I think when they do, when we remind them of how great things used to be, and they weren't perfect, but we can learn all these lessons from the past and build something absolutely wonderful. And when people see when the next lockdown occurs, when the next batch of crops are destroyed, or the next million turkeys or chickens or pigs or whatever it is that they're going to destroy, doesn't affect us. We're not going without food. We have shelter. We have a thriving community that is happy and healthy. That's going to be the thing that does it.
I would also just like to answer a question, which our pal also asked. Fed posting is basically when you post something that the Fed would like, basically. The likes of GCHQ and the FBI and various other groups of that ilk. So, for example, if you're on a particularly edgy stream and then you say all whatever should be gassed, that's going to be Fed posting, because then they're going to use that to try and get channel shut down. Or if you're saying that sort of thing on Twitter, it's the blurred line between being edgy and saying something that's going to get you in the clink.
Yeah, it's basically as frustrated as you are, you might say, I wish all X people would disappear. People get accused of things all the time. They get accused of threatening violence. Words of violence now, remember.
Yeah, it's all complete rubbish. It
Of
really
course it
is.
We understand people needing to let off steam,
God,
in a chat, on a stream, where you're sitting in an armchair. But there are people who will just use anything they can against you. They make up stuff about people all the time. And we know the media does this.
The real issue is they make stuff up, but every now and then they throw in a tiny little bit of truth.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's the little Fed posty comments is that tiny grain of truth.
Absolutely.
Because it is so unbelievably silly, but they will write a completely fictitious article. They throw in a couple of little bits and bobs of truth. And then if they're ever pushed on the absolute lunacy of the rest of the article, they'll just say, well, it was in a private chat and they deleted it all. We don't have that. But we do have these beliefs. They're taking in mind as well that the entire system is built in order to make them.
Well, they'll precede it. They'll precede it with a few names that people are familiar with, and they'll say, "Take our word for it. There was some really bad stuff. Luckily, we managed to grab this as it all got deleted."
Exactly.
This is not an even playing field. We're not dealing with people who are fair. These so-called justice warriors do not care about justice at all.
No, all they care about is their own version of justice, which turns the world into something that they want.
Like you said, they just want an easy win.
Exactly. That's all it is for these people. It's an easy win, extra funding.
I had a really good chat with DJ Mark, actually, just for comparison. And we were talking about, all the names that we usually get called when we tell the truth or call something out. He says, I've been called this and I've been called that. You all know the names. I'm not going to shout them out. And he said to me, the one thing I've never been called is a liar. And it really stuck with me. They don't call us liars, do they? I don't think I've ever been called a liar. And you don't really get into online disagreements with people. They tend to just post stupid stuff. And if you push back, then you get called names. No one ever says you're lying. That's never something I've seen used. I guess that's maybe a step too far for them because they know that they are.
Pot meat cattle would be the answer. Maybe that's what they don't like.
But even so, I've never seen any pushback back against us truth tellers that we are liars.
I have to say, I've missed this username quite a lot. Gammon Sandwich.
That is an amazing name. Welcome back, Gammon. Good to see you.
There's something about that one that tickles me in all the right ways. I don't know why.
It's because what's not to like? We like bread, we like pork. It's all good. Yeah, Gammon Sandwich is amazing. You should trademark it. Keep it forever.
Hey, make some shirts out of it. That's what you need to do.
Gammon shirts.
No. Make a logo, Gammon Sandwich, and then put that on a shirt. Don't make a gammon shirt. That'd be awful. It'd be sticky and slimy.
But we could dress our children in gammon.
You'd smell weirdly salty and floppy. Oh no, I don't like that at all. Can you imagine taking it off? It'd be worse than taking off a wet t-shirt.
Okay, yeah, that would be gross.
Sticking to you, slimy and horrible. You pop it on the floor and it has that very disgusting...
Yeah, okay, enough. You're disgusting.
But even worse, if you pick it up and he goes...
Oh, God, someone make him stop, please.
If you take it off your back.
Stop.
If you take it off and he goes...
No more. John, if you carry on, I'm muting you. I can't handle any more. It's disgusting. Oh, you're so nasty. Yes, that's a good idea from Aramis. Yes, start a shop, a sandwich shop. Call it Gammon Sandwich. And let us know where it is, and we'll all come down and keep you rolling in money. That's a great idea for a business. Or like a mobile shop or something. Sausage earrings. Aye. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that at all. Can we have a one in the chat for sausage earrings? If anyone likes it. I really don't think I like that. If I see ones in the chat, I'm going to be incredibly sad. No, Jess, what are you doing? Oh my God, you're all just really messed up. Thank you, Rory. Sir Francis, there's still some sane people around. Oh God. All right, Timmy, that word is banned. I don't know why I hate it so much. I just do.
What's worst, moist or...
Please stop. Oh God, everyone except Rory and Sir Francis would like sausage earrings.
No.
Even our pal saying as long as the sausage is fresh.
No. Why would you want a fresh sausage in your ear? That
Why
makes
would you
no
want a
sense.
sausage in your ear at all?
Well, one minute. Wait. If it's something like a salami, that's perfectly reasonable. If you're ever hungry, it's right there, no worries. Meanwhile, if it's a fresh one, you have to cook it. Think about it. That's not a good idea.
Maybe they meant fresh as in not rotten.
Why would... That doesn't make any sense. I dispute this.
Well, fresh as in not stale.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a biscuit now, but you get my point.
A little bit.
Yes, Jerry, I agree. It does make banana tea sound sane. Not a fan of mouldy sausage, says our pal. Right there with you.
Salami's so good.
Ah, thank you, Arthur. That's very nice of you to say.
So you get a compliment. I didn't get anything yesterday. All I got was, where's Joe? When's Joe coming back? Why isn't Joe here?
Your men don't compliment other men. That's
not
weird.
the point. Not even Philomena said, oh, it's lovely to hear you. I think we have spoken. That's not the point. Right,
excuse me. You have a Muttley sticker dedicated to you.
Well, why don't you get a distinctive laugh that looks like a cartoon character? No, don't steal from me. I'm not having that. My sticker, get off.
You suggested it.
No, I said get your own laugh. Laugh like Penelope or whatever her name was. I can't remember her name.
I'm not trying to steal your Muttley laugh. I've got a sore throat.
What was her name?
Penelope Pitstop.
Penelope Pitstop. Thank you very much. I couldn't remember.
God, laugh like
no. Her. How does she laugh?
I don't know. Thanks, Philomena. There you go. See, you guilt tripped her.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That very forced compliment.
I'll pay you later, Philomena. There you go. We went back to silliness. We almost had a serious stream, didn't we?
No, we did. We had a very serious podcast.
We did.
Which is kind of remarkable considering all the interruptions and the phone call.
That's true. Yeah. And the alarm at the end.
And the alarm. And me roboting. Whatever. It'll be fine. It'll basically be like we're live. Doing a podcast really made me realise how much we talk to chat. Xanthus asked, where do the podcasts happen? Theoretically, they should be going out everywhere. Like everywhere that we normally are. So YouTube, DLive, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and
isn't that where they end up? Where they happen?
But where they happen are our homes, but that's not the point. That wasn't the question.
So we basically just talk rubbish like we normally do, except this time we record it and upload it instead of doing it live. Thank you, Joe. There you go. That's a nice welcome back. Most of the time I'm laughing at Jordan, so you're a part of it.
I'm glad I'm a part of something.
We don't use BitChute for various reasons. The main one being
is the story behind BitChute for us. We have asked multiple times to have our videos uploaded there automatically. I haven't done it. I don't know why they won't do it. I don't know why they won't fix it. We've tried. We've
emailed them.
You basically you have to put your YouTube URL into there. We've done that. It doesn't work. We've detached it and done it again. Didn't work. We've emailed them. They haven't replied.
Yeah, they didn't bother.
It is what it is. So we are instead over on Library.
We are.
For which I will go and get the link.
Thank you.
I do not remember the link. It's Odyssey, is it not?
And we're also on Twitch, for those of you who aren't aware. You can watch the live streams on Twitter and the recordings. Podcast, Arthur, is literally just a recorded version of the live show. And that's literally it. It's still us just talking rubbish.
We may even put it up on the normal platforms that we have for it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. We'll find out if we want. / how easy.
This does remind me, actually, for those of you, we still do have 1 or 2 people say that they're being unsubbed or they don't get notifications. I would ask everyone to just bear in mind that if you go into the About section on either YouTube or DLive, as that's mostly who we've got in tonight, you will see links to all of our other channels. It would definitely benefit you to be at least connected to more than one channel, even if it's only one other channel. So you'll always get an update, a notification when we go live. YouTube is especially bad for just unsubbing people. And obviously you don't get a warning when you're unsubbed, and you have to manually resub. The other way, of course, is to remember that we stream at 7:30. That is our normal time.
Although we have different days.
Well, we've removed one day, so
we've removed the Thursday mainly because we have other things to do.
Yeah, we're too busy to stream 5 days a week now, unfortunately. But so we're still going to be streaming on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And if you cannot remember the days, at least remember the time. But if you are subbed to more than one of our channels, you will definitely get an alert.
I've just put the link to Odyssey in chat.
Gotcha.
If you can pop that into D-Live for me, please.
Just put it there. There you go.
There you go. That's where you can also grab us. You can grab us over on Odyssey. So, what exactly is the difference between Odyssey and other places? The simple answer is I have no idea. I don't have a clue. It's another place. There's lots of platforms. We're there as well. If you use it and you find it convenient, there it is. If you don't use it, don't worry about it. All is good.
If you already have a Discord account, MCJDub, we can drop a link in the chat for you. And you can join us over on the Discord. Jordan, would you grab that, please?
I can indeed.
And JW, you're on... Yeah, you're on YouTube. That's fine. I was wondering if I have to pass it over to D-Live. So yes, just if you cover your back, we hope you get white pills from the streams. That's what they're designed to do. And we hope that we inspire you to do something more than just listen and kind of walk away and forget afterwards. It's so important now more than ever that we don't waste this opportunity, that we don't waste the time we have to do something.
I popped the Discord link in chat, by the way.
There you go, JDub. There's a link for you. If you click on that link, it should take you straight across to our server where there will be a welcome wagon waiting to say hi when you get there. But yes, we are actually going to be too busy to stream 5 days a week. These projects that we've got going on, it's going to be along the lines of things that we've shared with this community. Solutions. It's more solutions.
Practical things. That's what they are.
Yes.
They're not airy-fairy nonsense that people don't need. They're genuinely useful, practical things that you will definitely use.
Yes.
Hopefully appreciate as well.
And again, just a reminder for everyone, if you go onto the website, we've got lots and lots of these income opportunities. Some have been created by Andrew, Green and Pleasantland, some by Jordan. They're very low.
One by Boudica.
Oh, one by Boudica, yes. They're very low investment opportunities. If you are working full time, but you do have the time, maybe you can do something in your spare time.
As I said yesterday, I personally really want to do the metal casting thing. I think that would be awesome. Not just because it's cool, like doing metal casting in general is cool, but I really see the potential there of it just being incredibly, incredibly useful for other craftsmen. Being able to make specialty nails, for example, for a carpenter. Well, admittedly, that's more of a blacksmith thing, but I suppose metal casting you could do as well. It might be a bit easier that way. Then at the end of the day, if you have the tools, you'll probably be able to do it. But certainly being able to make little inlays for tables and that sort of thing. Being able to take little angle irons for shelving. All that sort of stuff. I really see an incredible benefit for us with that. Especially if we have one person in one part of the country doing their thing, somebody in another part of the country doing theirs, and then the little local styles start to develop. I think that would be really, really, really interesting. I think a major way for us to come back from where we are to where we want to be is by making things beautiful once again.
Yes. Why can't they be functional and beautiful?
Exactly.
They don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. Well, there you go. Arpal says, I don't think cast nails would work. I don't know anything about that.
I did say decorative nails, in fairness.
And J-Dub says, I melt metal. So...
Tool restoration does have great utility. I watch those videos and all, mate. They're really interesting. I watched a fellow the other day, a German geezer, I can't remember his name. someone in chat probably know it is, the post-apocalyptic inventor. He had this pump, and I roughly know the price of this pump. It is very, very, very expensive, probably between 3 to 6 grand, brand new. And the only thing that was wrong with it was a broken power cord. I don't know if he sold it again afterwards. I imagined he did, but he certainly made one heck of a penny out of that because somebody threw it away without bothering to check it over. If you really know what you're doing when it comes to tool restoration, whether you make money out of it or not, I don't really know. You probably could, quite easily, I would imagine. But what you could definitely do is, one, have a lot of fun, and two, pick yourself up some things that you wouldn't normally be able to get. And also the satisfaction, once again, you become a very useful person. If you become known for being able to fix broken tools, and somebody has a drill that's just crapped out on them, basically, they're going to turn to you and say, "Hey, Bob, do you know how to fix this?" And you're going to say, "Yeah, no worries, Billy, I'll fix it." And you do it, and it's wonderful. You've saved that person some money. More importantly, you've actually shown your use to the community. You are the guy that fixes stuff.
Absolutely. You're going to be too busy being productive to get blackpilled. That's one thing. The other thing is, even if you end up not taking it up as anything more than a hobby, think of the money you'd save just by making the things that you would normally buy.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of people talk about wood lathes and various things. If nothing else, think of all the gifts that you could make by hand for people that you would normally spend. I don't know what people's budget is for Christmas or birthdays. If your budget was, say, £50 a person, you had 20 people to buy for, that adds up to a lot of money, especially if you've been furloughed or you're losing business. What if you could make presents for those 20 people?
Yep.
And all it's going to cost you is the raw materials. And I can't speak for anyone else, but personally, if somebody made me a present and it was made with their own two hands, I would love it. Absolutely love it. I'd certainly appreciate it more than something that you've just gone out and, paid for. It could be anything. You could write a poem. You could make a bowl or a vase or a basket. It doesn't matter. It's keeping yourself busy, staying positive, focusing on the production that you can contribute to. It makes you a productive member of your community as well. And productive members of the community are going to be the people who stand the test of time, I think. And it doesn't matter how you are productive, but you're going to get out what you put in. So it really is down to everyone to find their thing, I suppose. Find the thing that inspires you, that makes you happy, that gives you pleasure. If like Jordan likes whittling wood, if that gives him pleasure and he's enjoying doing it, then that's great. If you enjoy
it is a hobby.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it is an entertainment factor. Rather than sitting there and watching your latest Downton Abbey, you've got that instead.
Well, the point is that there are things that you can do while you're doing other things, like knitting or sewing, or it doesn't matter what it is. But if we don't start getting productive now, if we don't start finding ways to make money outside of this system that's designed to bring us down, we're going to fall behind. We're going to get left behind. I know it's really easy to say and much harder to do. But if you're afraid of taking a risk on your own, if you want some advice, if you want to talk to someone, that's what the Discord is for. Have a chat with some people. Go through some of those income opportunity lists. We haven't covered everything. I'm sure there's lots of things people could suggest that we haven't even thought of. Well, Jess, if you're a good baker, if you make tasty food, maybe you could start offering to bake cakes for kids' parties in your community, or speciality cakes for someone's birthday, or little Easter treats, and hand them out. Even if you don't make money from it, you'd still be building a community around the fact that you are doing something for the community. That's a ward right on your doorstep. Whether you end up moving to a ward or turning where you live into a ward, you've still then got the backup of your neighbours who will become so much more than just neighbours. And that also means protection and safety for all of you. There you go. That's perfect.
That really is perfect.
Maybe you could do the first one free and then set yourself up as a caterer. Why not? Organic soap for the Prince of Wales. Oh, soup. That's amazing. We have so many people who are great in the kitchen.
We
I've noticed
do.
it. A lot of good cooks here.
We do. It's quite impressive, really.
Sorry, Ragnar, we've told everyone now. Sorry. When neighbours become good friends.
We've been called out.
Thanks, Andrew. But yes, back to food. You're not even guilty of it this time, Philomena. You're innocent. Hurrah!
We can't help it. Food is the bread of life.
There we go. Green Dragon's just summed it up there for you, Jess. His friend's daughter is at uni and bakes different bread. She has tons of customers now. People are starting to reject all this store-bought rubbish, all this toxic, poisonous, just vile rubbish they keep selling us. And by the way, the price is going up. For the sake of for the cost of a loaf of bread, you could probably make 5 loaves and sell them and make the money back to make 10 more. So yeah, it's not just about learning a new skill. You may already have a skill or just something you really enjoy doing that you're very good at. Try and think of a way to turn it into an income, even if it's just a side business at the moment. It could be something in the future. You know, if you lose your job, how great would it feel knowing that you have a backup plan because you've built this up on the sort of part-time basis. There you go. It's about getting the word out. Until you're ready to start as a business, start building up clientele. And then just be honest and tell people that, you know, your job's at risk or furlough's affecting you or whatever, and you're going to set up as a business. I guarantee if these people like your food while it's free, they'll like it while they have to pay for it. It's such a good idea.
Everyone who buys stuff out of any supermarket is a potential customer.
Yes.
That is the mentality that we need to have, especially if your thing is cooking food. That everyone that you see going there buying a loaf of bread, that's a potential customer. Everyone you see going there buying their pot of jam, that's a potential customer.
Yes.
They're all customers. They just don't know it yet. Or they just don't know they're yours yet.
Good night, J-Dub.
Good night,
Good evening. So yes.
And also in terms of money, in terms of money, you think of the incredible overheads that the likes of Tesco have. I know they buy things in on scale and they have deals and various other bits and bobs. But they have all those overheads and they're still able to make money out of things. I'm pretty certain that if you looked around, you started buying in bulk yourself, you'd be able to afford these. You'd be able to afford to compete with them. Plus, regardless of what it is. Not just baking bread or cakes or anything like that, but just in general.
Well, I was going to say as well, once you've built up a reputation, you'll be able to start taking orders in advance. Which means your ingredients are already paid for.
Absolutely. Or materials, depending what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, we've got to get out of this mindset of instant gratification. Places like Amazon have taught us that you can have something this next day, hell, the same day in some cases. I think people, when they understand that they're getting quality bespoke goods, handmade, are going to be prepared to wait a few days for you to make something. Especially with the cachet that comes with knowing it's been made especially for them. If we can start getting into that mindset that good things come to those who wait, I think there are just a limitless amount of businesses that we could start. We have to start providing the things we want so that we as a community stop feeding the beast. These big corporations don't care about anything except taking money from us.
Exactly.
Why are we giving them their money when we could be giving it to each other? And we're not borrowing money, we're not lending money. We are literally exchanging goods or services for payment. That's how commerce works. It's how it's always worked. If you have a quality produce that you can sell, that people enjoy, they'll keep coming back. And you might not become a millionaire off the back of it, but you will probably be comfortable for the rest of your life. And you will be secure in the knowledge that you've spent your time being productive, that you have a good standing in your community, a great reputation, and you will have friends. Real people that will have your back when the going gets tough. People that will stand for you.
People that have something to lose in you. That's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, I really like Nick's phrase about adding value. I really like that very much. Is what you're doing adding value to your community? Arguably, if you're making a quality product, you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you are spending money in your community, you're adding value to it, because you are, by default, investing in local businesses. There are lots of ways you can add value to your community. Lots of ways. There is not a single thing that someone cannot do to invest in their community. It's up to you to decide what that thing is for you. You can produce things, you can be a consumer of things, you can support people, you can make things for people. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Yes, that is a great statement. Not just your neighbours, but your customers, your community.
I did indeed say that.
That's really a very good phrase.
But that's how we should feel. We should be worried about losing our neighbours. And not just, we don't know who's going to move in once they leave. I like neighbour number 36 because he doesn't make any noise, doesn't make any mess. I like him. I hope he doesn't move out.
Exactly.
We want people to have actual relationships. And the best way to ensure that is to become the hub of the community. Also, think of it this way, okay? Nobody is the hub of the community at the moment. This is the problem. The communities are completely broken. If you become the hub of the community, first off, there's very little competition. And secondly, you're going to be the main one. You're going to be the one they defend the most. It is literally ensuring your safety in order to do that. Or by doing that, rather.
Especially when you think about how communities are infiltrated by bad elements, people who engage in crime and criminal behaviour.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a tight-knit community, no one's going to want to leave. There won't be room for these people to move in because no one's going to want to move out. That's another way of securing safety for the future. Especially if you're a younger person who plans on having a family, or you've got a young family.
Or you are a young family.
Exactly. Getting to know your neighbours is not only safety for you, but it's also protection for your family. The kind of neighbours who will look out for your home while you're away, who will notice when someone's loitering or hanging around. Essentially, the basic premise we had for the ward system,
Mm-hmm.
which is looking out for each other, protecting each other, making sure that your community stays clean and safe, making sure that when people come there to cause trouble, they know they're going to be met with a lot of people who don't want them there. So it really is important that we don't waste this opportunity. I don't know how much time we have before the next phase is brought in, and I don't know what it's going to be. But we know what the end game is. While there is still an economy left to speak of, while there are still some freedoms left, please don't waste them. Get involved with your community in any way you can. And if you're not sure where to start, jump into the Discord. Talk to people. If you need help, ask for it. We'll do our very best to help anyone we can. But given the time that we have, we need people to want to help themselves first. We need people to have that mindset. They want change to happen and they're willing to do something to make it happen. Those are the people that we need to focus on right now, because those are the people, what's that phrase? The movers and shakers. Those are actually the people that are going to make things happen. Your contribution will fit your circumstances. Whatever contribution you can make, whether it's the welcome wagon or providing information, sharing your experience, opening a business, starting a hobby, teaching people, training people, it doesn't matter. There is something that everyone can do. The question now is, are you ready to do it? Are you ready to commit to it? If you are, then that's another step further down the line that we are. Another step closer to our goals, right? The more people that get involved, the more likely we are to hit success a lot faster. Anyway, I think that's about enough for tonight. Jordan, did you want to add anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, it's really good to see you all. We're glad to be back. Genuinely sorry about the late start today, but Tech Boomer in charge. We hope that you all have had a productive week.
Yeah, we have to one last joke.
Yeah, we can't ignore this. I have the worst neighbour ever. He keeps banging on the wall at 3 a.m. completely ruins my drumming practice. Johnny, not pal, we need these jokes on the Discord as well. Don't forget us there. Okay, it is really great to see everyone. Stay white-pilled. If you're going to come off this stream and go and get another dose of misery from somewhere else, just think about that for a second. It's an addiction. Fight it. We're here for you. Go and jump on the Discord instead and chat to white-pilled people. You'll feel so much better. On that note, we're going to say goodnight. So the new schedule, in case anyone didn't notice it or isn't on the Discord, is that, and Jordan did mention it earlier, is that we now stream on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So we're not here tomorrow. We will be back Friday at 7:30. And yes, busy. The sooner we get things done, the sooner we can share them with you. If anyone has any projects underway, especially completed projects, if you can put them in the completed community projects folder, we would really like to start showcasing these on the Tuesday to show people just how amazing our community is. So if you've made anything, drawn anything, painted anything, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter at all, written anything, please pop it into the completed projects, and with your permission, we'll give you a shout out on Tuesday's stream. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Bye
and
for
we'll
now.
see you soon. Bye.